Okay, really sorry about that. I have no idea what happened, guys. Hey Jose, the next string review. So I put a vote on, I think it was a Turnip Big Hitter Silver, the Yonex Polytour Fire. I put that vote out on my Instagram about hour and a half, 2 hours ago, I think. So I think the voting on Instagram ends, 24 hours after I initially release it. And then after that, I'll string it up. So expect the very next string review. Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, because I have a pretty heavy workload for not only my full-time job as a programmer, but also with this YouTube stuff that's actually like it's starting to get crazy. Like it's I love it and it stresses me out in just the right way, but I have to find a balance of being a full-time employee at a different company, getting healthy in the manner of hitting the gym, doing cardio, doing weightlifting to become a solid 5'5" / open level player, coaching, and people are coming to me for coaching, physical in-person coaching to a limited degree, so I got to find court time for them, and then also doing online coaching and also essential tennis original content on top of doing other YouTube stuff that's not tennis string reviews, like the tennis match play on my channel. So it's a little bit crazy. Sam Everett, that's a good question. So let me read that. That's a pretty big chat comment. Sam, what do you like about your current setup and what don't you like about your current setup? So I could give you better recommendation on that hybrid or a new string setup if you want me to. Yeah, acing. Yeah. So that was weird. I didn't know that was coming, because normally, I wouldn't say like I'm super tight with Ian, but like normally if there's like some sort of shout out or something in depth that Ian is gonna say on YouTube, he usually gives me a heads up. But I saw this thing online at like 8:30 a.m. today. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm on it. I wasn't like really prepared. So, after my first work meeting, I just hopped on the channel, and left that comment that is one of the top comments so far. And it's amazing that Ian is giving his time and effort and his time, his effort, and his attention towards smaller YouTube channels like us. It's amazing. Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, I know, right? I'm just like, oh my goodness. Have you been keeping in touch with Tennis Troll? I know his first name, but I'm not gonna say it online. But like, are you in like email contact with Tennis Troll channel? Because he's been emailing me back and forth. Ooh, that screen is bright. Hey Google, turn off my office lights. That's not any better. No, come back. There we go. Okay. Less glaring. A little glary, but still less glaring. Yeah, Jose, it's a busy schedule. Oh, Tim, did he really? Did the USA really do that? Cause I'm qualified for not state. I think sectional / regionals. I gotta text them. Tim, can you send me the link to that? The information. Sam Everett. Okay, thank you for that. So with that, I would recommend. Sam, I would actually switch out your mains. So take out Alu Power on the mains. Put Selenko Confidential on the mains. That's my honest opinion. Async, can you link me the video? And do you mind if I share it on stream? Is that okay with you? And ask Tennis Troll because I'm trying, after this whole pandemic thing is over, you know, when it dies down, when the vaccine is rolled out to more, you know, non-frontline people, I'm actually thinking about, and I'm going to see what Ian's thoughts are on this, because me and Ian live both very close to Milwaukee. He's actually 10 minutes away from me. We're thinking, I do want to go down and hang out with Tennis Troll. And in turn you, because you're real life friends with him, and doing some sort of like, you know, collaboration, because I would love to do that, because Tennis Troll is you know, big into tennis. He donates 80% of his proceeds to a nonprofit. I forget what it is off the top of my head. So I'd love to help you guys out. And also just, you know, go to Georgia. I haven't been to Georgia in 10 years. I've been there once in my entire life. What's up, Ethanito? How are you doing, man? Ooh, that is dark. Is that too dark for you guys? Is this too much of like an incel kind of basement? Let me know. I could change it. But it's just way too bright. Because you're saying that you want more spin potential. The Alu Power, although it's okay, it doesn't give nearly as much spin potential as, I would say, the Vocal Cyclone or the Selenko Confidential. Also, I personally believe it's extremely overpriced, just like with every Luxilon string I've tested on this channel so far. That's my answer, Sam. And you have the right to question me. You absolutely do. In fact, I would say you should question everything I say. That's, you know, that's the basis of not only science, but also as a good consumer. Question everything that you take advice from. Okay. Is Tennis Troll, he's high 4.5, low 5.0, right? Acing, is it okay if I play that on stream? Is that okay with you? The link you just sent me? Jose P, I don't feel that the ISO spin this is the baseline spin, which is like the thinner version of the baseline control. I don't feel like the tension drops faster than RPM blast compared to the RPM blast. But you know, I'm hoping that you as you said, you loved it, and I'm hoping that even though you feel like the tension drops faster, that it's still worth $40 a reel, all things considered. That's good acing. I'm glad that you could find inspiration to improve given, you know, the current worldwide situation. Happy New Year's, PJM. Today was chest and back day, and I did my full workout of that in about 25 minutes, so I'm pretty happy with that. Hey, Cats, how you doing, man? Thanks for hopping back on. Jose P, I wish my strings lasted 8 hours. My goodness, I wish they did. Those were the days. Ethan Ito, what are you talking about with the vocal cyclone? Similarly, are you talking about ISO speed baseline control? Oh, okay. Yeah, I just got your message. I would say yes, to be honest. Like, normally I would say buy a packet, like sample it. But the issue with the ISO speed baseline control, as I said on my video, is that it doesn't sell in packets because of the logistics of how cheap it is. But if you think about it, a $40 reel of ISO speed baseline control, that's about 2.5 packets of the vocal cyclone. So if you really don't like it, what you could do is probably hybrid the vocal cyclone with the ISO speed baseline control and save yourself some money, even if you don't like the ISO speed baseline control. The OG micro sheep, it's a pretty good synthetic gut / multi-filament. You do notice that it is lower quality. Like, it does the job for multi-filaments. I would never string it in full bed for anybody above that's a 4.0. It's only Donkey Kong. Sorry, it took me a while to see that. So it's good for a hybrid. It's super cheap, but I wouldn't string it with a full bed of OG micro sheep. Obviously, very consumer friendly, but definitely not the highest quality. For stuff like that, I would highly recommend the Prince Synthetic Gut with Duraflex. That's a pretty good one. I think the Gamma Synthetic Gut is also pretty good, especially for its value. And if you could dig up an extra 100, I think it's like $140 a reel, I would actually say the Wilson Sensation is a damn good buy. I know it's weird saying that because Wilson is a huge company. They own Luxlon, but the Wilson Sensation is a damn good string for the price. That's my personal opinion. Acing. So if you're switching anything, if you're experimenting with anything, you want to change as few parameters as possible. So if you're stringing with Selenko Hyper G on your head instinct, oh my god, head instinct, dude, Acing, head instinct's like a 15-year-old tennis frame, because I think it's called the Extreme now. Wow. All right. So if you're stringing your head instinct with Selenko Hyper G, let's say at the mid-range of whatever the head instinct is recommending you string with, do the exact same thing with the Yonex EZO 98 Tour, and then tinker around with it. That's my suggestion. Yeah, Donkey Kong, I'm Pinoy. I have never tried the Prince Triad string, Sam Everett. Technifiber Black Code. I think I did. It's I from what I believe, Max H, I think it's similar. Again, this is 10, maybe even 15 years ago. I believe the Technifiber Black Code is similar to the Yonex Poly Tour Pro, and actually the Technifiber Razor Code as well, but I haven't tried it in 10 years. So again, that's just my recollection from when I last played with the Black Code. Max H, I think the ISOSpeed baseline speed is just a thinner gauge of the ISOSpeed baseline control. That's the only difference. It's literally the same material. I know it's kind of weird that they gave a different name for the same material just with a different gauge. The head instinct, I don't think it ever came back. It's called the Extreme now. Yeah, there's no instinct here. It's definitely not the gravity. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Huh. I stand corrected. I stand corrected, Ethan Nito. I'm sorry about that. It is the instinct. That's the one like Thomas Burditch used before he retired, I think. I apologize. What's up, Bowsmaster? I have not tried the Yonex Poly Tour Rev strings yet. Have you? Jose P, I would highly suggest you tinker around with lead tape, just because lead tape, a packet of lead tape, well, actually, let's see. So a packet of lead tape is $3, and literally a new tennis rack is like 200 plus. So what I would suggest for your bang for your buck, buy lead tape and see if you can mess around with it. And if you don't like it and try the Aero Pure Tour, then yeah, you only wasted like $3. And I would even say it's not even a waste. It's knowing that, okay, I want to get a heftier racket. I don't necessarily want to mess around with the lead tape. So Dunlop is an interesting one, Max H, because they had like a slight resurgence in popularity for both tennis rackets and strings back in, I think, 2014. And then they kind of fell off, and now they're up and coming again. So I think their new tennis racket is actually doing really well. So the Dunlop FX500 and the Tour, I've heard very, very good things about. And obviously, this is Tennis Warehouse, so take it with a grain of salt with a review. But I mean, it's got pretty high marks, even from someone as independent as Tennis Nerd. He really likes it. So yeah, I'm interested to see it. If I ever get my hands on it, I'd love to play test it and give my kind of initial impressions, even though I only review tennis strings as kind of like my main content. But yeah, I mean, they're up and coming, and I hope they're doing good. And I do have like the Dunlop explosive spin or whatever as one of my options for tennis string review. So I'm excited to test that. It's only Donkey Kong, yes. I would highly recommend it if it fits on your Prince Neo's 1000. I've never strung with that machine before. Ooh, that's a tough one. Sam Everett, I believe you will notice a slight drop in power and a slight increase in spin potential. Oh, Spirit Donkey. Is that the Dunlop muscle weave? I've seen those. It's a legend. Yeah, PGM, knowing how much you could back squat, yeah, I'm sure the tennis balls are flying everywhere. Remind me if I ever see you at a bar to buy you a drink, just in case I give you a wrong look or something goes wrong, because yeah, your workout regimen is insane, so props to you. So DWoo0418. So when it comes to Dunlop lines, right? Or sorry, not Dunlop, Yonex lines. So the VCore Pro is the VCore Pro, not VCore. VCore Pro lines, typically speaking, are the most flexible and lowest powered. The best for like, for feel. It's the lowest power. It has the most flex. It's definitely for advanced tennis players. All things considered the same with these three. The E Zone is a little bit more powerful and a little bit more stiff and gives a little bit less feel. The V-Core, not the V-Core Pro, the V-Core is almost like Babolat Pure Drive-ish, where it's very stiff, not very good on feel, and has the most pop. Does that make sense? Ethan Ito, for online retailers, there's always going to be bias for reviews because, again, they're incentivized. They are incentivized to sell you stuff. Especially if Tennis Warehouse is the only Prince carrier, they are going to mark up that profit margin like crazy and try to sell it down your little throat. So always, always, always take it with a grain of salt. There's a profit incentive there, so just keep that in mind. They want you to buy stuff. Ignacio, yeah, don't play with the Solinco Hyper G or the Solinco Tourbite. If you want something comfortable. Yes, they give excellent spin potential. Can I ask Ignacio, then why are you loyal to Solinco if you want good comfort and good spin potential. Because I would recommend the Solinco Confidential. It's a lot more comfortable than the Tourbite and Hyper G, but there are more comfortable out there, but it's obviously not Solinco. So why are you loyal to Solinco, Ignacio? DU0418, then I would highly suggest the V-Core 100 or the V-Core 98. In fact, do you want me to give you my friend's email? He's a Yonex brand ambassador out of Madison, so he could definitely answer your questions better than I can. Let me know if you want that. Vig, racket size does matter. Correct. Really? Okay. So if you're loyal to the brand, I would try the Solinco Outlast. It's round. It's a lot more comfortable than the Tourbite, Confidential, and the Hyper G. But if you want to stick with shaped polys, try the Solinco Confidential. But that's awesome that a small company like Solinco has a pretty good brand recognition in Peru. That's awesome. Oh, great. Am I going to get creepy messages from you guys now that I gave my email? Even though it's already been public for the past 6 months. Awesome. I'm going to get some weird messages tomorrow. I know, right? Just slide right into the DMs. Why not? Acing, can you send me the link again? For some reason, I can't find it. What's up, George? Oh, sorry, Jorge. Yeah, let me know how it goes, Ignacio. Oh, Baratha Yapa, the Black Widow. I played with it, I think, 8 or 9 years ago. Man, that's a bitch to string. It has really good spin potential, but it's a bitch to string. 18 gauge is not durable at all, in my opinion. Awesome. Thanks, Acing. Acing, that's a link to my live stream. So, yeah, that's not it. Hey Google, turn on my office lights, please. Oh, it's a little better. Good. I know, right? It's kind of like Inception. It's like, yeah, this looks familiar. Oh, wait, it's myself in these two stupid cameras on top of this monitor that I'm watching. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. Ugh. I keep on saying, I keep on hearing, Max H, that I gotta test the ISO speed cream because I'm gonna cream my pants. So yeah, I mean, I have to. It's just, dude, there's only one of me, and this is just a part-time thing. So I'm just like, I gotta find a balance between being a good employee at my full-time job, getting in shape. My goal is to be as strong as PJM21. Who is in this live chat, and squat as much as PJM21. On top of, you know, doing competitive tennis, doing original content for not only my YouTube channel, but also Essential Tennis, for coaching some of these kids that are wanting indoor tennis lessons from me several times a week, stringing tennis rackets, playing World of Warcraft, being the main tank of a raiding guild right now. Doing online coaching at my Discord, and the Discord thing is going to be live soon. So I wish I could duplicate myself. It's just hard. Jorge, so high performance coaching, actually any type of private lesson through a club indoors in the Milwaukee area is going to cost you between $60 to $100 an hour. That includes the actual fee, but also possible memberships, right? But for me, I only charge $30 for high performance, for any type of one-on-one coaching. I only charge $30. Yeah, Vic, I definitely do. I mean, even though I'm a content creator, I'm also a content consumer, my man. So, yeah, I watch stuff all the time. Absolutely. If I'm on the treadmill warming up so I could, you know, get as much back squat as PJM21, I'm constantly consuming media. Even if I'm at work, I'm looking, at least in the background, you know, listening to Essential Tennis or Top Tennis Training, or Saria Tennis, and catching up with his vlog. And if it's not even tennis related stuff, I'm listening to YouTubers telling you how to YouTube better. No, I don't have to restring a racket before every session, Jose P. Self-taught player, you could go as far as you want. Like, you know, in my personal opinion, Daniel, I mean, you're gonna have to reach out for help to take to the next level. So I'm assuming by self-taught, you mean like, you know, you learn how to, you know, hit a forehand by yourself. But, you know, listen to people around you that care about you, that have your best long-term intentions in mind. Don't be afraid to hire a coach maybe once every 2 weeks, or maybe even just as a one-off thing to say, hey, you know, what do you think about this? There's nothing wrong with that. To be honest, Some of the best coaching I've seen came from college kids that don't exactly have a background in coaching tennis, just because they know a lot about the sport. That's my opinion. Find a college kid, or even a high-level high schooler that's willing to hit with you or feed you tennis balls at your local tennis club, as long as you know that, you know, this kid, boy or girl, you know, this kid knows what he's doing or is passionate about the sport. So DWoo0418, passion is the most important thing. The best tennis coaching I have ever seen is from part-time coaches. Because if you're doing something 40 plus hours a week and the food you put on the table depends on it and you're forced to do it, your passion immediately goes down, which is honestly my biggest fear, my absolute biggest fear about doing YouTube full time. Because right now, this thing is just a passion project of mine. I love hanging out with you guys. I don't have to hang out with you guys, but I love it because I don't need to do it. It's just kind of like, oh, sweet. I get to hang out with literal strangers. Well, some of you aren't strangers, but I get to hang out with mostly strangers that have never shaken my hand. Strangers I've never gotten a beer with. Yeah, I make some money off the side of it from YouTube monetization, don't get me wrong, and from some of the sponsorships. But the thing is, I don't have to do it. I choose to do it. It's choice. That's the biggest thing holding me back right now. It's not necessarily about the money. It's just like, oh, I get to do this, not I have to do this. So those are the things that are like clanking around my stupid head right now. Yeah, that link did work. Slinger Ball Machine is good, except that mechanically it's kind of garbage because you have to place it on the service line in order for it to feed properly to the baseline that you're on, assuming you're warming up ground strokes. Oh, a 4-0 from Cali, huh? Acing, are you in the hat or not the hat? Just curious. Baratha Yapa, I don't, I don't have anything off the top of my head, but I will shortly. Apologies for that. Oprah Winfrey 69. Also, by the way, nice. I really don't pay attention to hockey. I know it's a tough sport. It's a very tough sport. No, I actually don't have cable at my condo. Baratha Yapa, do back squats. It's all about the legs for poaching and doubles. $100 an hour. Yeah, DWoo0418. I could argue that there are coaching sessions that are worth $1,000 an hour, you know, but it just depends on your budget. It depends on your financial situation and what you want to accomplish, and also what kind of coach you're hiring. Yeah, I know who Tennis Sim is. Apparently he doesn't upload that regularly anymore, but yeah, he's a pretty damn good tennis player. I'd love to play him sometime. Yeah, Jorge. Yeah, me too. 95% of the Discord is up right now. It's just I have to kind of lay down the ground rules of people entering the Discord and figure out my moderators. I think Brian, who's been on my channel quite a bit, is going to be one of my moderators. So it's just one of those things that I got to set up of like, hey, you know, what's going to be able to happen when I'm sleeping? Okay. I thought that was a pure drive at first. Okay, so you're both wearing red shirts. So you're no hat. Nice hair, by the way. Blue shorts. Serving at this. Okay. 70 pounds? Yeah. I would never string. If someone came to me and paid me $100 to string their racket at 70 pounds, even if it's like something as soft as Wilson NXT, I'm gonna tell them to, you know, screw off, because I'm not doing that. Acing, that's first serve you just did right there looks that serve looks 5-0. Definitely 4-5. Even in that spin serve, which I'm assuming is the second serve, that's a very strong serve for 4-0. I would look at you and say, why aren't you 4-5 if not 5-0 with that serve? I'm assuming you're about 6'2", right, Acing? I'd be more than happy to. You know, in fact, that to give him more exposure, I'd be more than happy for him to hop into the chat while I stream one of these Tuesdays or Thursdays at 7 p.m. and have him be here while I, you know, critique his match. I had to have no problem doing that whatsoever. That's why before Acing Tennis linked me, I asked, you know, obviously I could do whatever I want on my stream as long as there's no type of sex, drug, or self-harm. But I just want to ask for consent to make people feel as comfortable as possible. That's a nice return there, Acing Tennis. Good job. So, Acing Tennis, why aren't you... This guy's first serve is about 20, if not 30 miles per hour slower than your first serve. Especially that second serve, even though it has a pretty good amount of kick and good height over the ball, or height over the net. Oh, that's a... that volley. You should definitely be pouncing on that and almost taking it like an approach shot, in my opinion. Again, it's easier said than done. I know I'm speaking because I'm on a computer rig right now drinking really good tequila, just, you know, judging everybody. Oh, is it the consistency? Okay. Oh yeah, Jason Vu, KFC. KFC all day. And tequila. A little vodka. Oh, okay. You need to work on your second serve, Acing Tennis. Okay. Acing Tennis, how nervous do you get when you hit a second serve and you're down break point? Can I ask that? Yeah, Andrew H24, I've heard of the Polytour Rev. 3 people have mentioned that on this stream so far. Haven't tried it, but I am keeping an eye on it. Your opponent has a good forehand. He bullied you that point. Forehand to forehand. Acing, how tall are you? That's a very good first serve. Assuming that's a first serve. It's a very good first serve. It's a good play. It's a good drop shot by your opponent. That's a good error, I would say. That's a perfect height for a male tennis player. Good for you. Okay, guys. All right, chat, help me out here, right? So Acing Tennis is 6'1". Kick serve tips, Baratha or Yappa. Hit kick serves on your knees. Not even joking. I do that. I do that with my junior students all the time. Literally hit kick serves on your knees to really accentuate going up and above and brushing it and getting that height. So, chat, little coaching tip here, right? Acing is 6'1", which is a damn good height for a male tennis player. I'm gonna show you the point after this because it's kind of important. Yeah, that's a very good drop shot by your opponent. It's a very smart play. Okay, so Acing's jammed up a little bit, but he did good to get it back, right? That's your number one priority as a returner. Get the ball back. He's a little bit jammed. I think his wingspan is greater than 6'1", but that's fine. It's actually a pretty clean hit, in my opinion, somewhat near the center of the strings. Gets it back. But acing tennis, he's not really in a defensive position on that first forehand other than the return. So this forehand, he's not in a defensive position, but the ball lands short right before the service line. And then the exact same thing. He's not really in a defensive position. Yeah, he's not exactly on offense because look where his opponent is. Look where Hat Guy is. Hat Guy, his right foot is on the baseline. Acing is, I would say, maybe 6 inches to a foot behind the baseline. But Acing's weight is transferred on his right foot, his back foot, just a little bit too late, in my opinion. And as he's swinging, his weight is still on his back foot. That's why that's 2 short forehands in a row from acing tennis. And I guarantee you I know what's going to happen next. Your opponent acing tennis is going to take advantage of this. And he's going to be camping on, if not inside the baseline, because your quote-unquote stronger stroke, which I'm assuming is your forehand, has landed short twice in a row in a non-defensive position. Oh, he actually made the error. I'm sick. So, in my opinion, it's not really your stroke mechanics acing tennis. So, in my opinion, again, I'm not criticizing you, I'm not chewing you up, but I would actually work on footwork and leg strength to get you a lot quicker off the ball, so you're not leaning on your back foot, your right foot on your forehand, or your back foot in general, so you're able to load up quicker to explode into the court, because you have good stroke mechanics. It's just I think your weight is transferring back when it should be forward. It's a pretty good slice return. Even then, you didn't bend your knees on that shot you dumped into the net. Your opponent has a good forehand. Very solid, very classic. Yeah, send me the video. More than happy to take a look at it. Again, I'm here like kind of like helping you improve your game and giving you my thoughts. I'm not here. I'm not making fun of you. I'm giving you, you know, hopefully constructive type of coaching. It's a beautiful court, by the way. Beautiful stadium, actually. Different level stadium. You don't see that a lot in Wisconsin. Oh, thanks, Jen. Barath, have someone hand feed you forehand approach shots. So Edgar G, it depends on what your goal is, right? So, in my opinion, let's assume this is for singles, right? So your goal is to, I'm assuming, to kind of at least trim down that weight and also, you know, be able to play tennis well. So, so this is one of those myths, and I think if PJM21 is still here, PJM21 can give you tips for this because me and PJM21 exchange Instagrams like once a week because, you know, workout fanatic, and I need to start working out. I would argue, don't even do so much cardio, Edgar G. Start lifting weights, even if it's like little by little, because hour per hour, lifting weights the right way, I would actually argue even lifting weights the wrong way, but lift weights the right way. Lifting weights is more efficient to burn calories than doing cardio. Don't get me wrong, cardio is still important because you want to last in a marathon singles match against a grindy opponent on the singles court. But if you really want to start getting into physical shape for singles tennis, start lifting weights. Oh my goodness. Hey Google, turn on my office lights. Rainier Tennis, it's because Scott's a psychopath. A younger player going through puberty, don't lift weights because I don't want you getting injured. I would say start running 2.5 miles a day, if possible. Edgar G. CM, go to Functional Tennis and buy their camera mount that can attach to your smartphone or GoPro. That's what I have. PJM21, I would say be careful of the overhead press. Do very light weights for overhead press because I've heard of people getting injured from over exaggerating going behind their head. That's my advice. Your opponent has one of the best 4-0 forehands I've seen in a very long time. That is a very solid forehand from your opponent. Acing tennis, why do you do that with your left hand on the backhand follow through? Your left hand kind of follows through on the backhand along with your right hand. I think it's this point right here, acing tennis. Okay, so take back is good. Racket drop is good, right? Do you see that though? How you open up your chest, I would argue a little bit too early. Oh, don't worry, Aaron Siho. I'm actually a Canadian citizen myself. I have family in Toronto. Oh my god, I love Toronto. So good. I love that Labatt Blue. It's so much better than Miller Lite in the States. I would argue you open up your chest a little bit too early acing tennis. On the backhand follow through. So learn to kind of keep that closed. Trying to find a way to show you this without getting copyright struck. Okay, so Babrinka, right? Here's Babrinka, and then let's take a look at Roger Federer. I'm clicking on non-ATP stuff so I don't get I don't get a copyright claim. Okay, so Roger Federer, right? Arguably, he's one of the two greatest players of all time currently, right? For males ATP singles. Oh, Saria, man, everybody's here. What is up, guys? So we got Saria, we got acing. I'm just waiting for Essential Tennis Ian to pop up. So with Roger Federer, right? So he's greatly improved his backhand. So he takes it perfectly, is obviously, but look at the follow through and look at his left hand. Okay, look at his left hand. So you see, and this actually looks painful to me, right? But you see how his left hand and his right hand are more than just a parallel line at this point. It's like extending that. And then his shoulders, his scapulas are like his left shoulder blade and his right shoulder blade are almost touching, right? However, not everybody can do that. Federer is able to do that because he's Roger Federer, right? 2, he's flexible as all hell. And 3, it's not a knock on Roger Federer, but he doesn't have the back muscles that I do, that Stan Wawrinka does, that PJM21 does, or Seria Tennis does. Because I've seen Seria Tennis in a sleeveless, and my goodness, I want to know, Seria Tennis, what is your workout regimen? Because I want those shoulder blades of yours. But seriously, like, Federer can do that. Okay? Roger Federer can do that because he doesn't have that much upper body muscle, especially on the back. Right? And he does open his chest up a little bit, but that's mainly to recover back to the baseline. Right? Because you want to open your shoulder eventually. You want to open your chest eventually to recover back to the baseline because you're hitting a normal backhand. Okay, so let's take a more unconventional example. Stan the Man. So, Stan the Man, he's built like a linebacker. Believe it or not, he's got a huge upper body torso. He doesn't have the shoulder width as Roger Federer, in my opinion, right? But he's got a he's a big dude. Like, you might think he's a little bit chunky, and he's not actually chunky. He's a big dude. He's naturally a big guy. If he was an American, I would honestly think he would be a linebacker. He's a huge guy. So, someone that's not nearly as flexible as Roger, you know, pretty similar backhand technique. His right elbow is probably a little bit more straight than it should be. But again, he's Stan the Man. He could break a racket just by bending it over the knee. But you see how he kind of opens up his chest a little bit? I'm assuming he's hitting cross court, right? But he still extends it. His right part of his body, extending it well enough. But I personally think that acing tennis here, I would love a slow motion of this. It's just a little bit too early. Oh, okay. This is the, okay. He dumps in that. Okay. Again, acing. I would love to see a slow motion of this and kind of break it down. But you open your chest up a little bit too early compared to Stan the Man. And also, for some reason, your left hand went up. It should stay still as best as possible. Yeah, it went up. Your left hand went up. Yeah. Okay, guys. My World of Warcraft raid is actually waiting on me as of 9 minutes ago. What, addressing your workout regimen? Seria Tennis. I'm so glad I could make this live stream so Seria Tennis can get a call out along with PGM21 of their workout regimens. Remember, guys, Chad one-hander version two-hander. Massive difference. Oh, it's all about the timing. Seria, it's all about the timing and how much you get bench press for the one-handed backhand. I can't believe I almost said that. Straight face. Jan, I did briefly look at your serves, and it looks fine. It's just, I think it's the confidence on the second serves, in all honesty. Yeah, Jose P, no problem. I'm here for the... I'm here to help you guys out best I can. All right, guys. I'm headed out because of my World of Warcraft raid. They apparently need me super badly. So if you guys have any questions, leave a comment down in the section below. I'll get to the camera's here. I'll leave a comment down in the section below. I will get to it as soon as I can, possibly in the next 15 minutes, depending on how many times we wipe on this raid. And click like if you already haven't. And then if you guys can, the best way to support this channel is twofold: hitting subscribe if you haven't already, and also sharing this with this channel specifically with other tennis aspiring people such as yourself. I've never ever really asked for money. I'm asking that you guys, you know, make good decisions as consumers given these hard times, and, you know, just be the best possible people you could be for both tennis and bench press. And that is a shout out to Saria and PGM21. So as always, guys, thank you very much for hanging out, and I will be back on Thursday. And please vote if you haven't already on the very next tennis string for me to review. And as always, happy hitting.